everyone. Thank you very much for being here with us today. My name is Aurora Puriqi and I'm going to be hosting this podcast session. But in the meantime, I'm also the Business Development Manager for the SubSpace Energy Hub. I'm here today with Mr. Barry Flannery, which is the CEO of Xerotech, a battery technology company that designs, engineers, and produces lithium-ion battery packs. They're based in Ireland. Thank you very much, Mr. Flannery, for being with us.
Hi Aurora, thanks so much. I really appreciate the opportunity here to do this.
Great. This is the first podcast from the sessions that we're planning to do with the Subspace. But before jumping into a deeper conversation with Mr. Flannery about the Xerotech and their relationship and collaboration with the SubSpace Energy Hub, I'd like to introduce the concept and the purpose of the SubSpace Energy Hub platform and referencing of what we've been doing so far. So the SubSpace Energy Hub started 1 year ago, and it was founded by a group of renewed individuals, leaders in the international companies operating in alternative energy systems and the sustainable development and underground infrastructures. What it is, it's a really forward-thinking network of partners in the tunneling and mining equipment and energy storage industries. They are combining to fast-track ways we can both build net zero carbon underground space, but also to provide communities with durable green energy supplies. During this first year, we've been starting a lot of initiatives to get a lot of exposures. Our members have been growing significantly, and also through our partners, we've been exposed to potential clients and companies that like to join this hub to further develop their companies by keeping in mind the net zero carbon footprint goal. So if you would like to know more about the SubSpace Energy Hub, please find the link below of our webpage where you can get to know more about our news and latest developments. Now, moving on with Mr. Flannery and Xerotech, I would like to you to introduce your company because you're the CEO but also the founder of Xerotech. I know you have an educational background in physics and mechanical engineering. So can you walk us through how did you transform your education into a real company? How did you come up with the idea of creating Xerotech back in the 2015? And if you could tell us a little bit about the history of the company and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. So I suppose to start, first of all, I'm here despite my education. So I do have a PhD in physics or a PhD in mechanical engineering and a degree in physics and all that. But really, it's been a lifelong interest in, I suppose, technology and learning how things work. So my undergraduate was applied physics, done in the local university here in Galway. That's on the west coast of Ireland, NUI Galway. And then I moved on to a mechanical engineering PhD after that. And I finished up that PhD around a year early. And then jumped straight into building Xerotech. So actually, the idea for Xerotech was unrelated to my studies. It was really just my interest in this space. So really, since I was quite young, back in the late 2000s, I would have followed very closely companies like Tesla and understanding electric vehicles and how all that is happening. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to be involved in. It was something I wanted to be a part of. And I just didn't exactly know how I could do that. So the original idea for how Xerotech came about was trying to build an equivalent to the Tesla Model S battery. And actually I was unable to replicate a piece of technology that was in that. It's basically little battery cells are inside of it, and they cool the batteries with a metal pipe, basically. I had no way to make the metal pipe, so that meant I had to come up with a new way of doing it, and that was one of the core technologies of Xerotech today is our thermal management system, where we have a flexible plastic duct that goes through the module. So really, when you're building a company, it starts with maybe a technology idea, and then you build that technology idea into a product, and then hopefully you can build that product into a business. So that's been really the journey of Xerotech. And what Xerotech is today is we're a battery pack manufacturer. So we build you a battery pack or a battery system, and we will sell that to an end vehicle OEM or an equipment OEM. That's someone that manufactures equipment. And what's special about Xerotech is we believe that we're certainly one of the first, if not one of the leading players in the space that's developing batteries for what we call the low volume, high diversity market. And that's really important because a lot of the equipment that you might even see inside in the SubSpace Energy Hub, that would be very, very low volume equipment and very diverse. So it's really different to the automotive industry, like passenger vehicles like Tesla or Volkswagen or BMW. They make batteries for cars that they build in the hundreds of thousands of units. So when you drive out on the roads and you see a popular car, they're making probably 300,000 or 400,000 of that, just that one model of car. Whereas the biggest manufacturers in the world of the space that we operate in, it's called the non-road mobile machinery space. Take Volvo Construction Equipment, for example. In total, they make about 80,000 machines, and they have many, many product lines. So it's already not a very big number compared to the automotive industry. And then that's diluted down onto many different product lines. So the battery that you have to build for those product lines is totally different to the battery you build for automotive. For automotive, it's about the absolute minimum cost. You can spend an awful lot of money developing that battery and testing it, because you can spread it over hundreds of thousands of cars. But if you're only making 20 batteries for an underground drilling rig or a shotcrete sprayer or something like that, you have to build a different type of battery, and that's what we make. We make flexible and scalable batteries that can go from very small machines to very big machines. So I guess the mission of Xerotech is we're trying to enable the electrification of everything else. And what we mean by that is basically, we view that the passenger vehicles, cars, I suppose, and buses and things like that, that's kind of like done. People have figured out how that's going to be done. It's now just scaling up factories. But really, how do you do everything else? Everything else with a diesel engine, everything else that moves, how is that going to be electrified? That's what we're focused on, and we've been quite successful there in securing a lot of interesting orders and interesting projects to help that shift.
Impressive. I mean, it's great that you're unfolding this for our audience. And regarding the history part, I actually was doing some stalking, and I saw your video about your childhood and interest about this, and also your inspiration from Tesla. Actually, you started answering my next question a bit, which would be getting a little bit more deeper on Xerotech products. What is actually their innovation in the industry, and what is your vision about the decarbonization of this energy industry?
Yeah, and before I even get into that, now that you've seen my secret YouTube videos, I suppose history has a way of repeating itself. That one of my passions and hobbies when I was younger, even today, although I don't have much time anymore, was mineralogy, collecting minerals, rocks and minerals. So I've actually, before I got into this space, mining and construction is their core markets for us today. But I've been in a lot of mines in my life when I was younger as well, very old ones underground, collecting minerals and things like that and crystals. So that was just an interesting aside. But Xerotech, I suppose, what is our product and why is it special, is that take a perspective from the OEM. You're an equipment OEM operating in this space. You've got hundreds and hundreds of different types of equipment, or certainly dozens. You want to find one, at most two suppliers that will give you a battery. So if you're selling mining equipment, you're not out there selling very strongly that this is a stage 6 engine, or a tier 4 engine. You're selling improved drill head technology, or we're better at spraying shotcrete than anybody else in the market, not my engine. It's actually the same with batteries, is that today batteries are, maybe sexy because it's new, but in a couple of years it won't be. It'll be like tires or tracks. Like, it's just a thing you have to buy from your equipment. So these OEMs want to just be able to buy a battery. That's the simple idea here. They've been able to build all of their different equipment today by picking a diesel engine out of a catalog. Basically, you can just open up a diesel engine catalog, pick a big, a medium, a small engine, whatever you might need, and use that in your equipment. What Xerotech's product line, our product, is trying to do is to give you a catalog of batteries. So it's this flexibility and scalability. And that's, I think, one of the key commercial insights of Xerotech, is that many people have been trying to, we need to find a global standard for battery sizes to meet all these markets. Our view is that, if that was possible, then we would have a standard engine size, which we don't. There's big machines and small machines. So you need to do the same with batteries. And what we've created is our Hibernium battery platform that's basically able to give you over 150 physical sizes of white box, and then those boxes can be stacked a further 20 times. And then we're able to change what happens inside of those boxes, giving literally tens of thousands of different system configurations. So that's the catalog. We can give you the catalog. And what's really important here is that all of the components that we use inside of the batteries and the production line and production process, it's all the same. It's all common. So what might feel like a customized battery for that OEM, it's actually off the shelf for us. And that's really important because we're able to achieve economies of scale and drive down the cost for these battery systems to make it practical for the OEMs to electrify and change their products. So I suppose the three pillars of why someone would buy a Xerotech battery specifically, one of them is that flexibility and scalability. That's what most customers love the most, I guess. They're able to get it in any shape and size they want. But the second one is our thermal management, so kind of what the company was founded on. We're able to heat and cool batteries better than any solution on the market today, and that includes automotive actually. Tesla, Lucid, Rivian, we've talked to them. So that's really important to enable you to charge batteries faster, to discharge them more aggressively, and to make them last longer. So this really helps the OEMs to offer long lifetimes on their batteries or use them for their customer applications. So that's piece number 2 of why we're special. And then the final piece would be the safety element. So our batteries are quite unique that we completely fill the batteries with a special structural fire retardant foam. So that means that if you have any issues in the batteries, maybe some destructive event, a piece of drill rod or something like that goes through the battery, the foam will stop the spread of fire or thermal runaway if the battery was to fail, or else it will slow it down so much that it takes such a long time that first responders can quickly come to the scene and secure and make sure everything is safe. So those 3 pillars is why the technology is unique, and in general, what our product is doing to the market here. It's enabling the market to shift. That's why it's only happening now, in the mining and construction and the other heavy duty segments. This is the first time a solution that actually really works at scale has been brought to market.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds very efficient and safe, and it perfectly aligns with our core business. But also, your company is the typical type of business that SubSpace Energy Hub wants to collaborate with. It's innovative and with a strong attention to decarbonization of energy industry. Could you tell us a bit more how Xerotech discovered about the SubSpace Energy Hub or got in touch with, and how the relationship and the collaboration has been so far throughout this year?
Yeah, so we were involved quite early on in the formation of the SubSpace Energy Hub. So one of the advisors to our company used to be the CEO of the Normet mining equipment company, and he was also linked to a number of other individuals that were very high up in the construction equipment space. So these gentlemen had a lot of contacts in the space, and a group of, as you described, renowned individuals with a similar interest came together to try and create this initiative. And it's very exciting for us for, I suppose, 2 reasons. The first one is that it's a fantastic test bed, the SubSpace Energy Hub, that you can see a real life environment to do real testing, and this is incredibly important for the types of industries that we would sell batteries into, where really, to be absolutely blunt about it, seeing is believing for many of these customers and mine operators. You can produce all the reports you want and scientific data, but they really want to see a machine in an underground environment. So that's one of the key elements that's of great interest to us. So we came about the SubSpace Energy Hub through some of the backers and advisors to our company, and we're actually involved at the back end in helping form the initiative.
So great, thank you. Through this podcast, we would, for you to understand, is that we would like to help other companies who would like to join the SubSpace Energy Hub to understand more about the collaboration. So you mentioned, your advisors were also part of the SubSpace and they made the connection. And this is how most of the first partners started through our a close circle, and it's been developing and growing ever since. But could you be more specific, so in this way we could also help other companies understand about what exactly are the initiatives, exchanges and innovation that has been happening between Xerotech and the SubSpace during this time? How are you using this platform to further develop and innovate your products, to test your battery in a battery safety in a danger-proof environment and infrastructure that we offer at Hagerbach? So if you could share a little bit more specific information about that, would be helpful.
So Xerotech there's obviously many initiatives within the SubSpace Energy Hub umbrella. Xerotech is specifically looking at underground vehicle electrification. So we're working quite closely with some of the OEMs, the equipment OEMs that are building these next generation equipment. Our batteries are being considered and are already in a number of these machines. And as I said, bringing them into a relevant test environment is critically important to demonstrate the performance of the machines with real mine equipment OEMs, and also the mine operators also visit. So the Hagerbach Test Gallery is a very important one, internationally. This is a renowned site for many, many years that many of the mine operators, the end customers of our customers, visit this location, and for them to see equipment they are operating and to hear that it's electrified or electric and discovering that it's a Xerotech battery inside, it's a huge opportunity for us to demonstrate that the technology is suitable for this market. So the SubSpace Energy Hub has also been very important in terms of helping educate the market in terms of electrification, particularly around safety. So the fire risks around batteries, there's certainly a lot of information out there. Much of it is misinformation about it. So that's something that we're very active on with the SubSpace Energy Hub, is demonstrating in real life applications fire safety, fire risk and fire training, because this space that we operate in, this electrification of these heavy duty machines, it's new. Many of the people buying these machines, it hasn't been done before, so we really are at the cutting edge of technology. So there's a lot of education and thought leadership of the whole industry, and that's what's very important for the SubSpace Energy Hub, is that this is very much like right at the very forefront of technology. So if you're an innovative company and you have some new development or technology you're trying to bring to market, I'd highly recommend that you get involved in this initiative, because it connects you to companies like us who can, maybe expose you to next generation technologies in the machines, exposes you to the OEMs, exposes you to the end users and everybody else. So it's a fantastic ecosystem of getting links into the market, but also to develop technology.
Thank you for highlighting this. Hopefully it will be a good reference for other companies who would be interested and wanting to know more about our platform. Now, bringing up one special thing about Xerotech products that you already mentioned in the beginning, or your niche, in my opinion, is the fact that you focus on the scalability of batteries for each type of vehicles rather than the standardization, rather than having energy solutions for a few types of batteries only. I'd like to know, how is this strength helping you to be top players in the market? I don't know a lot of companies that offer the same services than you, but I believe this is quite unique. So I would like to know, how is this helping you to be leading the market?
So I suppose I can come back to the Xerotech specific context, but maybe just to talk about the whole market again, I must re-emphasize that point that this market needs a lot of different batteries in many different shapes and sizes. So physically, a lot of the times you've got to fit a certain space on a machine that probably already exists, that hasn't been fully re-engineered. An engine is not put in, now you have to fill some space. And then also the size and scale of battery is all over the place. So if we want to electrify these types of machinery, the off-highway space, the underground space, tunneling equipment, mining equipment, and everything else, you need to have a flexible and scalable battery. You don't necessarily need to have a Xerotech battery, but you need to have a flexible and scalable battery. That is critical. There are very few players in the market today that actually offer that. I would say that of all the major names that are known in the market, there's maybe one or two that kind of offer this, maybe around 10 times less than what Xerotech offer, but very few. And then most of the big names, one of the biggest names, only has one size of battery, just one size, and then they can stack it up to 10 times. So maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. That's the challenge that the market faces today. So Xerotech really is enabling that shift, because when you discover the benefits of electrifying your equipment, all of a sudden you're in a big rush to try and find a battery, and you can't find a battery. It's a really big problem in the industry today. So that's what Xerotech has been able to do with this scalable and flexible product. It's really in allowing people to electrify their machines, I guess.
Yeah, thank you very much for exposing us to the challenges of this industry and also to your milestones as a company. We're going close to the end of the podcast and the conversation. I would like to finalize by asking you, where do you see the collaboration with the SubSpace Energy Hub going in the near future, and what are the next steps planned on this collaboration? To point something out in regards to this, the last show that you participated, the ConExpo show in the US, where you also represented the SubSpace Energy Hub, is definitely one of the things we've been doing together, or one of the things we've been helping each other. But there are definitely other collaborations planned in the future, and representing each other in international environments and networks. But besides that, where do you see this collaboration going and other next steps planned?
Absolutely. So I mean, the most important piece for Xerotech on the collaboration with the SubSpace Energy Hub is that we're not trying to sell batteries to the mining industry. We're trying to electrify the mining industry. If we can contribute to that mission by helping sell some batteries, that's great. But the first goal is to electrify these industries. It's to support the decarbonization transition. So that's our primary goal with this initiative. And what I mean by that is we want to try and remove many of the roadblocks that are in the way for doing this. So there's ones around cost, there's ones around fear and safety and things like that. So one of the most immediate initiatives that you're likely to see in the SubSpace Energy Hub is a very significant activity around demonstrating the safety level of electric machinery in underground environments versus the current technology of diesel. So we believe that this is a really important thing that must be done by not just Xerotech as one battery manufacturer, but a collection of other battery manufacturers and a collection of equipment OEMs to demonstrate that this is the future. There's many, many benefits to electrifying equipment, and that we want to demonstrate that at the absolute minimum there is an equivalent level of safety, but in reality there's actually an order of magnitude greater safety by using this type of equipment here. So that's one of the first major initiatives we'd like to do with the SubSpace Energy Hub. And we would, you mentioned at ConExpo that we were advertising on behalf of the SubSpace Energy Hub. We are very keen as a company to invite in many other partners into this, and absolutely including other battery pack manufacturers, because that's really important. In any industry, it's not good to be the only person. It might feel like it's good to be the first one in, but you want many others to come in and join this initiative, because the market is huge. The opportunity is incredible. This shift is only going to happen once in the next probably 100 years or 200 years. It just doesn't happen. The shift from diesel to electric, that will never be repeated again. So we need all of the support that we can get. We need as many partners as we can get. We need as many battery pack suppliers, battery pack manufacturers, equipment manufacturers to be involved in this, and to demonstrate to the world that this is the next step, and we need to all work aggressively and proactively together to demonstrate that, and with the mine operators and tunneling contractors, to show that this is really important. And that's just in the equipment electrification space where we're particularly active in. So we see a very, very bright future for the SubSpace Energy Hub, and it's a very important part of our contribution to helping decarbonization, and to do some thought leadership of what we should all be doing together to try and electrify the industry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Flannery, for being with us today. It was great to have you and to discuss about the SubSpace, Xerotech, and our future together. And I look forward to seeing this collaboration grow in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aurora. I really appreciate the time. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.